From our Washington, D.C. studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Hena Zuberi. Our top story tonight. Former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, is jailed for 14 years today, as is his wife, Bushra Bibi. This is the second sentence handed to the wildly popular former Prime Minister in 2 days. Sentencing came just a week before a general election in which he is barred from standing. Today's sentencing is for the profiting from state gifts. In Pakistan, government leaders are allowed to buy gifts received from foreign dignitaries and heads of state, but do not usually sell them. Khan was ousted as prime minister by his opponents in 2022. He has already been serving a 3-year sentence. There are more than 100 cases against him. Khan says that the cases against him are politically motivated. Chicago City Council passed a ceasefire resolution today, joining 70 other U.S. cities. The majority of them called for an immediate ceasefire. Specifically, 47 cities have passed symbolic resolutions demanding an end to Israel's bombardment and ground operations. 6 others have advocated for peace more broadly. Additionally, 20 cities have passed resolutions condemning Hamas for its October 7th attacks. Most of the ceasefire resolutions have been adopted in democratic states, including California. At least 14 such resolutions have been passed in crucial swing states like Michigan, which may impact President Joe Biden's re-election prospects. Notably, the Biden administration has rejected calls for a ceasefire, despite a majority of Americans supporting it. Critics argue these city resolutions have little impact on national policy, but represent public opinion. In the past 24 hours, 150 Palestinians have been killed and another 313 wounded in Gaza due to Israeli strikes. On Wednesday, 30 Palestinian bodies were discovered at Khalifa bin Zayed Elementary School in northern Gaza. Al Jazeera reports these bodies were found in black body bags with Hebrew writing on plastic cables. The timing of their deaths remains unclear, but the school had been a shelter for displaced Palestinians before being bombed by Israeli forces in December. Israeli forces also launched an assault on an Al-Amal hospital in Khan Yunis, which also housed the Palestine Red Crescent Society's headquarters. The assault left 10 injured and a hospital security employee dead. Israeli troops are now demanding the evacuation of doctors and displaced Palestinians from the hospital. Israel reports the death of 3 of its soldiers. The UN reports that over 200 Israeli soldiers have been killed and more than 1,200 injured since the Gaza ground invasion began. The Israeli military has also confirmed it is flooding tunnels in Gaza with seawater, which experts warn will have severe ecological consequences. Since October 7th, Israeli attacks on Gaza have killed 26,900 Palestinians and injured 65,949. Israel has suffered approximately 1,100 casualties from Hamas attacks. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Tuesday his army forces have killed hundreds of Palestinians in occupied West Bank since October 7th. Netanyahu told soldiers posted in West Bank that they have already eliminated 500 people in the West Bank and encouraged them to continue such killings, according to Israeli public broadcaster KAN. Israeli soldiers disguised as doctors, nurses, and civilians assassinated 3 Palestinians in Ibn Sina Hospital in Jenin on Tuesday. The bodies of dozens of Palestinians killed by Israelis were buried in a mass grave in Rafah on Tuesday. The decomposed bodies were delivered to Gaza through the Kerem Shalom border crossing. Their decomposition due to Israeli negligence made identification hard. Palestinians turn to animal feed for survival in Gaza. Details come after the break. Stay tuned and we will be right back. Welcome back. Palestinians in Gaza have resorted to grinding animal feed like broken wheat and corn to make bread for their families. The scarcity of wheat flour has left them with no other option. Awatif al-Basyuni, a resident affected by the conflict, described the harsh living conditions which include hunger and freezing temperatures. She said children suffer the most as their basic needs go unmet. Hassan Saraf, another resident, highlighted the complete food depletion, with people fasting for up to 48 hours. Asad al-Katri shared the desperate measures they are taking, even making bread from bird feed to survive. Roughly 2.3 million residents in Gaza are enduring a complete blockade. Gaza's northern region particularly faces malnutrition-related diseases, with around 600,000 Palestinians at risk, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health. Limited humanitarian aid being allowed in by Israel covers only 7% of the population's needs and remains insufficient to quell the crisis. The Senate Assembly at the University of Michigan passed a resolution urging the institution to divest from companies linked to Israel financially. The resolution was put forth by Professor of History and African Studies Derek Peterson and triggered a heated debate. Peterson criticized the university's decision to cancel votes on 2 ballot initiatives related to Israel's war on Palestine during the fall of 2023 Central Student Government midterm elections. The cancellation was based on an email sent to students which the university claimed violated its responsible use of information resource policies. The student government maintains its governing documents lack rules regarding interference with student petitions. Meanwhile, a silent protest organized by the Tahrir Coalition, a multicultural alliance of more than 60 student organizations, showed support for the resolution. The UK has expressed willingness to expedite its formal recognition of a Palestinian state. It signals a potential shift in the UK foreign policy regarding Israel and Palestine. In his 4th visit to the Middle East since taking office, British Foreign Secretary Lord Cameron emphasized the importance of providing Palestinians with a political pathway towards peace in the region. He asserted that UK bears a responsibility to outline the characteristics of a future Palestinian state. Cameron also highlighted the need for an irreversible progress towards a 2-state solution. Additionally, he called on Israel to permit increased humanitarian assistance into Gaza. Cameron condemned the rejection of vital aid at border crossings as ludicrous. He also criticized Israel's failure over the past 3 decades to ensure the security of its citizens. Approximately 10 wounded Palestinian children from Gaza have arrived in Italy for treatment. According to the Italian Ministry of Defense, they came with family members landing at Ciampino Airport near Rome. They're the first group of children to be flown to Italy as part of an international agreement to support children affected by war. They had crossed the border from Rafah to Egypt 4 days ago and were initially treated by Egyptian doctors in local hospitals. Italy's defense minister Guido Corsetto said only through international cooperation would his country be able to overcome such major challenges and ensure the safety of the most vulnerable. He also said Italy will continue to help Palestinian civilians. The Japanese government, police, and 2 provincial administrators have been accused of racial profiling in a case filed on Monday. The plaintiffs are 3 foreign-born residents. They name the Japanese state and the Tokyo Metropolitan and Aichi provincial governments in the suit filed in a Tokyo district court. Japanese newspaper Mainichi reports that the 3 foreign residents have accused the police of frequently questioning them based solely on their ethnicity. Plaintiff Zain Sayed is originally from Pakistan and became a Japanese citizen at the age of 13. He said he faced questioning by police 15 times since moving to the city of Nagoya in 2016. The plaintiff's case demands that the government clarify that it was, quote, illegal for police officers to stop and question a person because of their race or nationality. At least 19 people were killed in 2 separate terror attacks in southwest Pakistan. The attacks occurred in Mach and Kolpur area of Balochistan province, where multiple alleged terrorists, including suicide bombers, targeted the region. Pakistan's military responded by killing 9 suspected militants, including 3 suspected suicide bombers, while 3 others were injured. During the intense exchange of fire, 4 troops and 2 civilians were also killed. Baloch separatists argue that they are economically marginalized and poor compared to the rest of Pakistan. Additionally, a roadside blast in Sibbi district killed 4 people moments after an election rally passed by. While the target of the blast remains uncertain, the opposition Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Party suspects it was directed at its rally. No group has claimed responsibility. Balochistan is strategically vital due to its resources and its role in the Pakistan-China Economic Corridor project. A Sri Lankan vessel and an Iranian one have been successfully freed after being hijacked by Somali pirates. Seychelles forces rescued the Sri Lankan fishing boat. Meanwhile, the Indian Navy also announced that it had freed an Iranian-flagged fishing vessel called the Iman from pirates. These incidents have raised alarms about security in the region's waters. The attacks were carried out by armed Somali pirates, signaling a resurgence in piracy on the high seas. It comes amidst Israel's ongoing war on Gaza, which was the impetus for Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels to target ships in the Red Sea. International naval forces have redirected patrols due to Houthi attacks, leaving a potential vacuum for Somali pirates. That's all from our Washington studios tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel or hit the bell icon for the latest updates. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV or visit muslimnetwork.tv. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for getting us to 100,000 subscribers.